Hi guys, this is Merlin, and I'm just gonna talk about it today. Today also the main topic is the bit tree, but it is the deletion. We're just gonna talk about the deletion in right now. So the bit tree insertion was kind of easy, but you just have to split it, and you have to check if the key is full. If it is not, so you're just gonna finish it. You're just gonna insert it. But if you insert the key, and if it's already if it's gonna be full, it is full, you have to split into key into node, and you have to append to the parent. And so that was very easy. But the deletion is really not. I think deletion is most complex logic in the B-tree operation, because B-tree there's search and insert and deletion, and I think deletion is really hard. So I'm trying to implement things. So I'm just gonna try to talk about it's like the troubleshooting and those kind of things. So if you look at here, the most hard part, like in the B-tree deletion, was deleting the node that is inside the tree. So that is kind of really a hard part. I think this is the really hardest part. But I didn't implement this right now. So I only implement the deletion, but on the leaf. So let's say you wanna delete the 7. So deleting 7 is really easy. You just have to traverse this kind of key, this kind of bit tree, and if you find the target key, which is 7, you can just delete it. So you can just delete it. So if you look at my implementation, let's say I want to delete 7. Let's say we already deleted 7, and let's just copy this code here, and let's copy paste here. Oh yeah, so if you look at my face is not showing whatever. So the deletion operation in the bit tree, if it is node, and if the node is leaf, and also if there's not if I try to delete this kind of key, and if it is not gonna make this node into unbalanced, I mean, like if I delete the node, and if the node is if the node is gonna be re-empty, so that's gonna be imbalanced. So we have to try to do like complex logic. But if I try to delete 7, that doesn't even make it into imbalance. So we just have to just let it go, because that's already finished. So my implementation of the tree algorithm right now is, I don't know if you can see or not. They're just gonna. So the deletion part. So when I'm trying to operate the insert, I request this parent node, because it's just a bunch of recursion, but deletion is also recursion. But the main I think the most important thing is that you have to find the child that is leaf for that, because because if you're trying to delete some kind of like the core key, and if you're already doing the delete operation, and that does not make the imbalance, it's pretty fine. But if that is like making imbalance, for example, if you delete 12 here, there's gonna be imbalance. You have to make this balance. You have to get you have to borrow the key from the neighbor. So that requires some kind of complex logic based on the keys. If I'm trying to explain with the logic here, we already find out that what is gonna be the next child index, because if the bit tree is just the advanced algorithm of the binary search tree. So if it's bigger, you go right. If it's not bigger, you go left. So index, if it's bigger, you have to go to the right. So that means that you already been go to the right. And if wait, hold on. So I'm just gonna try to explain. So example, your target key is 12. So that is right of the 10, right? So that's gonna is right of the 10, right index of the 10. So that means that if I try to delete, there's gonna be underflow, which is gonna be unbalanced, and we have to borrow the next child of it, the neighbors of it. But we already been right, so that means we have to go to the left. So you have to get 7 and put it here. So that was my theory of it, but I found out that you don't really borrow the 7. If it so the borrowing should be the bigger. You have to think about which bigger or smaller than yours. Example, if you're trying to borrow something, you have to go to right. What do you mean? You have to go to right because, example, if 12 gonna borrow the key that is the left next to the 12, like 10, so that's gonna be this is gonna be not binary tree because the B7 is smaller than 10, but that does not has to be replaced on the right. So instead of borrowing this kind of 7, we have to borrow the the right next to the 12, which is gonna be 18, or yeah, like this. Yeah, but the question is that it is really okay to borrow that is not even child. So because this 10 or 7 is child of the 10, but 18 is not child of the 10, it's child of the 20. So it is really okay to make it like this. But I think the best way is to make it like this, but I don't think that is kind of a good idea or not. But I don't know, but because this deletion algorithm is really making me confused. If it's like deleting 6, it's pretty fine, there's no borrowing thing. But if it's like 12, you have to borrow something. But which one has to be you borrow? The theory, example, you just have to borrow the 18, right? It's really simple. But the theory could be simple, but implementing your code isn't simple. You have to think about the parent key index of you have to think about which strategy you get the next index of the child. So that was a really hard thing to me. So if I find out the which one I have to borrow, I'm just gonna explain those kind of the logic on tomorrow's thing. Yeah, tomorrow I think so. So this is it. Have a nice day. See you next time. Bye bye.